Have you ever wondered if the lessons learned in childhood could truly shape a destiny of unimaginable wealth and influence? Could a boy taught the simple value of a ledger book one day hold the entire telecommunications landscape of a continent in his hands? This is the story of Carlos Slim Helú, a man who transformed boyhood lessons into a global empire, proving that the roots of greatness are often planted long before the world takes notice. His journey didn't begin in a lavish boardroom or with a revolutionary invention. It started in the heart of Mexico City, within the loving and disciplined home of Lebanese immigrant parents. His father, Julian Slim Haddad, was a man who had built his own success from the ground up, starting with a dry goods store and astutely expanding into real estate. He wasn't just a businessman, he was a teacher, and his most dedicated student was his young son, Carlos. From the earliest age, Carlos wasn't just given an allowance, he was given a lesson. His father meticulously taught him the fundamentals of business, financial management, accounting, and the critical importance of keeping precise records. Every peso earned and spent was to be documented, analyzed, and understood. This wasn't just about bookkeeping. It was about instilling a deep-seated financial acumen, a language that Carlos would master before most children had learned long division. This early education sparked a fire in him. He wasn't content to just learn. He had to apply. Young Carlos found joy in the art of the deal, bargaining with a natural flair and turning a profit by buying and selling personal items. This was no fleeting childhood hobby. It was the dawn of an investor. While other children were spending their money on candy and toys, Carlos Slim was building a portfolio. At the tender age of 11, he made his first significant financial move, investing his savings in government bonds, an act of foresight far beyond his years. The momentum was unstoppable. By the time he was 12, he had purchased his first shares of stock, entering the complex world of the stock market. And by 15, in an astonishing display of youthful ambition, he had become a shareholder in Mexico's largest bank. The seeds planted by his father were not just sprouting, they were growing into a formidable financial intellect, ready to take on the world. After earning a degree in civil engineering, a field that teaches structure, precision, and building things to last, Carlos Slim applied these principles not to bridges or buildings, but to the architecture of a business empire. He began his professional career in the securities industry, a world he already knew intimately. With a sharp eye for undervalued assets and a fearless approach to investment, he quickly began to expand his reach. He founded Grupo Carso, a name derived from the combination of his own name and that of his beloved wife Sumaya. This was not just a company, it was a vision. Grupo Carso became a sprawling conglomerate, a testament to his strategy of diversification. The group acquired stakes in a vast array of industries, from retail and construction to mining, tobacco, and beverages. Slim was a master at identifying companies in distress, acquiring them, and through meticulous restructuring and efficient management, turning them into highly profitable enterprises. But the defining moment, the move that would catapult him from a national magnate to a global titan, came in 1990. The Mexican government made the historic decision to privatize Telmex, the state-owned telecommunications monopoly. Many saw a risk. Carlos Slim saw an unparalleled opportunity. He assembled a consortium of partners and, in a bold and strategic maneuver, acquired the company for $1.7 billion. This was the masterstroke. He didn't just buy a phone company. He acquired the very nervous system of a nation's communication. Under his leadership, Telmex was transformed from a sluggish bureaucracy into a modern, efficient powerhouse. From this foundation, he built América Móvil, which aggressively expanded to become the largest mobile phone operator in Latin America and a dominant force on the world stage. The boy who once kept a ledger of his personal sales was now managing the communications of millions. His empire continued to grow, with his portfolio diversifying even further, touching sectors from banking and insurance to luxury hotels and even a significant stake in the New York Times, demonstrating his influence far beyond Latin America. Yet, as his wealth soared to astronomical heights, making him the richest man in the world for several consecutive years, Carlos Slim Helú remained remarkably grounded. The man who could afford any palace in the world chose to live in the same relatively modest 6-bedroom house for over 40 years, a home filled with family memories rather than ostentatious displays of wealth. He famously drove his own car, an older model Mercedes-Benz, preferring practicality over prestige. This profound simplicity was not an act, it was a core part of his identity, a reflection of the values instilled in him by his father, that true wealth is not what you spend but what you build and what you give. His greatest investment, however, was not in stocks or companies, but in love and legacy. In a touching tribute to his late wife, Sumaya Domit, who passed away in 1999, he built the magnificent Sumaya Museum in Mexico City. This architectural marvel, itself a work of art, was not a vanity project. It was a heartfelt gift to the people of Mexico. Offering free admission to all and housing his immense and breathtaking art collection, estimated to be worth nearly $1 billion. It stands as a permanent monument to their shared love for art and for each other. His generosity extended far beyond this single act. He established the Foundation Carlos Slim, a philanthropic powerhouse dedicated to uplifting communities across Mexico and Latin America. The foundation has poured billions of dollars into critical social causes, focusing on improving education, advancing healthcare, fighting for social justice, and fostering economic development, touching countless lives in the process. Carlos Slim Helú's story is more than a tale of riches. It is a profound lesson in vision, discipline, and humanity. It shows us how the simple values of hard work and careful accounting, taught by a loving father, can become the bedrock of a global empire. His life is a testament to the power of seeing opportunity where others see crisis, of building for the long term, and of understanding that the ultimate measure of a person's success is not the wealth they accumulate for themselves, but the legacy of progress and compassion they leave for others. He is not just an icon of business, he is a beacon of philanthropy and a true model of social responsibility.